Y'all don't know what I went through.
Do you have a cart in your hands right now?
Nike Talk was that place that spiraled what you enjoy now.
Anyone who brought a Kobe shoe in, I would clean it for free.
Man, Melo was better than a lot of people in the league.
I saw that. My favorite jersey is that one, the Barkley.
Kobe fours.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 44. This is the Dandit and RG Machismo podcast. So we back, y'all. Today, RG Machismo won't be in today, but he just said, say what's up to everybody. So today, I got a very, very special guest. He is from Chicago, Illinois. His name is Jeff Masangcay, and he is the founder of Bata Soul. So how are you doing today, Jeff?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Hey man, first and foremost, how's everything over there in Chicago? Looks like you're all bundled up and everything.
It's about to get cold real soon. Fall was short, and we're bracing ourselves for the winter time, man.
Oh man, yeah. So I'm, I don't miss that cold at all because I know how that cold is. That it's the wind factor. That's why they call you guys the Windy City in Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
We got our Bulls going on right now, so it's a good season. So we're all happy
see the Bulls, bro. I see the Bulls, man. So I'm a Wizards fan, so we might see you guys sometime soon.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk more about that in a bit. So Jeff. So tell us more about yourself.
Yeah. So my name is Jeff Masangcay. I grew up in Glendale Heights, Illinois. Currently living in Chicago, Illinois. I got 3 kids, 3 little shorties. 5, 3, and 1 years old. An awesome wife, and my full-time job is I work for a university as a college advisor. Been in higher education for over 10 years now. But my passion is Bata Soul and my organization.
Oh, that's dope. So I mean, first and foremost, being a family man, that takes a lot of your time, and being, husband first and foremost. Props to you, man. I mean, I have a kid, 6-year-old, but having ×3, man, what's that like having a full house like that?
It's an animal house. I mean, it's just like nonstop. From waking up to nighttime, you're exhausted by like 7, 8 o'clock. I catch myself sleeping at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. No, if I'm up by 10, like if it's over 10 o'clock, I'm like, I'm living it up today.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So, hey, that's cool. I mean, seeing your kids grow, that's like a beautiful thing too, right?
For sure. It's a blessing, and they're growing fast.
That's dope. All right, so we're gonna get down to business. So Bata Soul. So Bata Soul is your charitable organization, Jeff, that you created to collect, such as like new sneakers, lightly used sneakers and apparel. So for your community in the state of Chicago. So how did that all started for you?
Yeah, so I always say that it started when I was a kid. Like, started with my love of sneakers. Like, my parents would, lace me up in Jordans. Like, I remember specifically, my dad came home with a pair of Jordans, and I just never stopped wearing them. Like, I wore them to church. I wore them to basketball. I wore them to school. It's like you had one shoe and you beat them up, and it was just like you felt like you could do anything in that shoe. And from there, I just loved sneakers from my childhood, and then going into adulthood when I could actually afford sneakers, I kept on kind of growing that collection and that love for sneakers. But it really came down to when we went to the Philippines for the first time. It was 2011. We had a awesome family trip to my mom's province, Pangasinan. And man, it was that family trip ended up being an eye opener for me. Me and my brother, especially, were like, wow, like this is a whole different world out here. This is crazy how there's 50 kids outside playing basketball with no sneakers, one basketball, and you just think of the times that you're at home. You have 20 sneakers in the garage just sitting there. From there, we're just like, let's do something, man. Let's try to bring sneakers back one day. And that was in 2011 for that trip. So it took about 6 years till we finally like, you know what, let's go back and just make it rain sneakers on that village. So on 2017, we actually came back and brought 1,000. We collected 1,000 pairs in 1 year,
Wow,
and we came back and just surprised everyone with sneakers.
that's dope. So as far as like having an eye-opening experience in the Philippines, I'm assuming like you're in your mom's province in Pangasinan. That's where you, I guess, distributed like the shoes over there.
For the first drop, yeah. So the first mission trip, it was in that village that we went to in 2011. So we made that promise to come back, and it was just an awesome feeling to go back there.
So what was it like when you came back, within 1 year? Especially like how did you I'll take it back. How did you start collecting, or donate, getting donated like sneakers?
Yeah. So what's crazy is like, you have friends in the basketball network that, play a lot of basketball, into sneakers just like you. So I just started hitting up friends and families and, hey, I'm going to be collecting shoes throughout the year. If you guys aren't using any, we would definitely collect them. And then we're going to go bring them to the Philippines at the end of the year. So it started like that. We started doing shoe drives with local basketball camps, basketball leagues. It was just awesome because I started to get to meet the community, meet the people, and tell them what I plan on doing. And this is year one. I've been to I always tell the story. I've been to a couple shoe drives where I ended up leaving with one pair of shoes. But at the end of the day, I remember that one pair of shoe because it was that one shoe that this one kid that really, really wanted in the Philippines. So even though like I'm there for a weekend collecting sneakers, coming back with a one pair of shoe, that one sneaker is very powerful. So it was very humbling to know that like it doesn't matter how many you donate or how many we collect, like one sneaker is so huge to them.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, especially, Philippines is a third world country where like predominantly they're all about, basketball is literally life to them.
Yeah.
Like they literally name NBA players after like their kids, which is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because like I think when I went to Philippines like 3 years ago, like I met some kid was named LeBron. He was like a 3 year old.
Yeah.
LeBron, like what? That's crazy. Like there was a
There's a
LeBron.
there's
Yeah,
a lot of Kobe's out there.
there's a lot of Kobe's. There's a
There's a lot of Kobe.
KD. I know a KD.
That's crazy. And it's like literally KD too, right? It's not even Kevin.
KD. Like
Yeah,
what
it's
does
not
KD
even
mean? No, KD.
it's not even Kevin Durant, it's just KD.
Like middle name's not Sniper or Easy Money. Like no,
No.
it's just KD. Like oh okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's life out there. Like everywhere you go, you make a hoop out of anything, every
Mhm.
corner. It's just nonstop playing basketball because it's just a sport that's not only universal to them, it's easier for them to play. There's no football fields. There's some baseball fields, but it's just an easy outlet for them to, play a sport that is easy for them to play and accessible. I've seen, people shooting with like watermelons and like things like that, like
Yeah, yeah,
coconuts, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like do you make the craziest, like they are so creative in making like basketball hoops. Like
yeah.
they use chairs and they pin it on trees to make as baskets. It's wild.
That's dope.
That's how
So
much they love it.
so back to that first year. So what was that reaction like when you first saw, when you collected all those sneakers, you went back to the Philippines and you laid out all the sneakers that you're ready to give out to the, community over there in Pangasinan. What was that reaction when you first started like handing out sneakers to that community?
Yeah, it was just an awesome feeling because we literally saw every sneaker transfer from the person that donated it to the person getting it. So, you're transferring energy to someone's memories to make more memories. So that's what I started to realize, like, hey, we're these old shoes that are still usable, like, and had memories for this one person is going to make new memories for this other kid. And there's thousands of these. So like we're making 1,000 more memories. And it was just another eye opener was when I was lacing these kids up because I wasn't just me and my brother weren't just handing the sneakers to them and saying, bye, we'd like to, put them on them and kind of let them see their reaction and how it feels. There was a point in time where um, some of the kids couldn't put their sneakers on. They didn't know how to lace the sneakers on. They didn't know how to tie the shoe. And some of the kids were a little bit older, and I was like, how do you not know how to put the sneakers on? And my cousin in Tagalog found out why, and it was because that was literally their first pair of sneakers, and that was the case for a lot of them. Like they go through chanelas like crazy, man. Like
Yep.
chanelas is
Yeah,
and
yeah.
slippers are their thing out there. That's their
Mhm.
hoop shoe.
Yeah.
But some sneakers like putting it on for the first time, that was more of like a heartfelt moment for me. And it's different worlds, like for instance, like sneakerheads over here, we praise this like awesome Jordan retro shoe that like we would love to wear and rock. But then there's a shoe that's more comfortable, for instance, like a Nike Rocher,
Mhm.
that's just a daily use shoe. Like I would sometimes ask the kids like, hey, which shoe would you like? And they would try both shoes on, and I was kind of like convincing them like, you should get these ones. These are the Jordans,
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they're like, no, 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 no. I want these Rochers. So it's like it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
the brand, the feel. It's just I want to have comfort.
Yeah, I agree because I think also too they want something that's like multi-purpose, like for basketball, like especially if you think about it, like when we were kids,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I was only allowed to get a pair of shoes like per birthday
Hmm.
or for good grades, and that would be my sneaker for the entire like school year. You know what I mean? Until like the bottoms are worn off, air bubbles popped off. So for me, like I need something that I can wear every time. So predominantly like a black or a white shoe will be
Yeah.
something that you can like wear with everything. Versus like you wear like a green shoe, a red shoe, an orange shoe. So perhaps that could also play in the factor. But like you were saying, it's more of that comfort factor, regardless of what it is. And even though you're trying to say, hey, get these J's, get
Yeah.
these Jordan ones because these are cool, they rather just have something that they like. So I think it's nice that you gave them that selection. So is it when you were donating shoes, was it one sneaker per kid
Yeah,
or
one sneaker per kid. So what we like to do is we like to take care of all the kids in the village first.
okay?
So we literally went through maybe like 600 to 700 kids. And it
Wow.
wasn't just my mom's village. Like they started coming from different barrios.
Okay.
So my mom has her own barrio, and then barangay, and then the other
Okay.
barangays,
Yeah.
we made sure to tell them to come by and swing over. But yeah, it was crazy. It was like it was like our own complex con. but
Yeah.
but everybody wins, man.
Yeah. Everybody wins. Yeah.
Everybody wins, man.
So what is it, just like word of mouth? Like you were just saying, hey, like we're doing like a sneaker donation, drive,
Yeah.
come
So
by.
they usually have like a big barrio festival
Okay.
in the Philippines
Okay.
for all the provinces. They have their own private thing, and then we just marketed it like maybe a few months before that, because my mom's not pretty well known, but we have a big family out there. We just word of mouth that, hey, there's gonna be some free sneakers for you guys. Make sure you guys show up on this day.
Hmm.
Um, just because I think they remember us from when we visited there initially
Hmm.
in that first trip, um, because we were playing with the kids. We were giving them our sneakers. That's another story I skipped. Like, yes, there was a story of how it actually started, was because I was wearing Kobe sixes out there, and I was like, hey man, like let's just throw a little one-on-one basketball tournament.
Yeah.
And I had all these kids sign up to play one-on-one for like a whole day, and
Wow.
this kid won it, and just it was an awesome feeling. So they'll definitely remember that, and that's why I think there was a big turnout when we came back.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, especially you're giving that was your personal right that you gave away.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I always leave with nothing, man. Like I go there with like some
yeah.
stuff, and I'm like, man, like I don't need this.
Yeah.
Take this.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So next question for you to Jeff. How did you get the name Bata Soul?
Yeah, so this is a not an evolution of the name, but like I was like, hey man, what are we gonna name this? To me and my brother were just pitching ideas on the way back from the Philippines, and I was like, we should name it something like Bad Kicks, but in Tagalog,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, why don't we call it Bastos Soul?
Yeah.
Because my parents would call it, you're Bastos, like bad, you're bad. So I was like, why don't we call it Bastos Soul? And then my brother's like, nah, I don't think we should do that, man. So he's the one that talked me out of it to call it like kid soul, like Bata. So
Mhm.
a kid in Tagalog is Bata, so we named it Bata Soul, and it just fit perfect.
That's awesome, man. So you've been doing it, what, almost 10 years, close to 10 years now, right? So
No, so we
2011.
officially started when our first trip, our second trip, the actual first mission trip
Okay.
on 2017. So we're a
Okay.
little over 4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's
and
dope.
we did another mission trip in 2019.
So in addition to the Philippines, do you guys all, I see that you also do it for, for your city too, right? Like as
Oh
far
yeah,
as
yeah. So we do a lot of community stuff. Um, a lot of the things that we do is just like interconnected,
Mhm.
with the game of basketball or any type of sport of you know movement. For instance, we've linked up with Special Olympics Chicago. They're a big organization here, and they had a basketball tournament. And we just wanted to make sure that these athletes were fitted with awesome shoes, because a long time ago when I actually volunteered for them, I just remember these athletes were playing in boots. These athletes were playing in ripped shoes. So in my head, I already planted that I was going to go back there and lace these athletes up. So we partner up with awesome communities that need sneakers, a lot of youth programs, a lot of homeless shelters. Um, we do a yearly boot drive that we just started, just to keep everyone's feet going and everyone on the right foot, like because proper footwear is hard to come by, especially with the market nowadays. Like everything's priced up. Like an average basketball shoe for an adult is 50 to 60, and that's used.
Yeah.
Everything else is probably like 125, 115.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, yeah, especially like fluctuation with prices with Nike, Reebok, Adidas, you name it, even Fila, it fluctuates due to like high in demand. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're kind of like, I want to say like culture vultures, but we are culture vultures because we embrace the culture, but at the same time, like, man, like I don't want to spend like 200 on a pair of
Yeah.
Lacroix.
It starts to add up, man. It's like,
Yeah, that's
wow.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially like when you have like for yourself and then you have your kids and your wife and you know what I mean? That all adds up for
for
you.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's awesome. So another question for you, Jeff. You also have a not only with your donating sneakers to the community in the Philippines and Chicago, you also started a basketball camp called Camp Soul, which was held this past August. So tell us how you inspired to create that camp for your community.
Yeah. So growing up, we played in all these Filipino basketball leagues, and what's awesome is like the organization and the group that you're around, you grow up with, and these guys become your brothers, your little brothers, and you grow up, still kind of hooping, but still having those memories of playing basketball together, and traveling to different cities to play other Filipino organizations. Um, so after starting Bata Soul, I was trying to figure out ways to like kind of not push the movement, but like involve the youth. You know what I'm saying? Like we were starting to do events that was like not it wasn't working, but it was more of like, hey, let's just get together and have a social event, as opposed to like let's push the movement on kids helping kids. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So through the game of basketball, which is a powerful sport, we wanted to teach kids how to play the right way, especially the younger kids. But we also wanted to add an element of giving back to the community. So we had an idea. Me and my little bros had an awesome idea of like, let's just start a basketball camp this summer, get like 30 kids and grow from there.
Mhm.
So we started this basketball camp, and our idea was to do 6 week or 8 weeks of basketball camp every Sunday, and our goal was to collect over 400 pairs of sneakers.
Wow.
So it was actually 300 pairs of sneakers, but we won over 400. And then we linked up with this grassroots program in the Philippines called Hype Street Basketball. Look them up.
Oh, Hype Street. Okay.
Hype Street is like the N1. It's
What?
like N1, but like Philippines and their kids. Like they go through the streets and they do all these tricks. They obviously play basketball too, but like
Yeah.
it's kind of like the N1 out there, and they're a grassroots program. We sent them the shoes maybe a month ago, so they should be arriving there soon.
That's
But the
dope.
but again, the whole idea was like um for the kids, from the kids. We're all still kids, man. In our inside self is still a kid, and you know what I'm saying, like these kids, like you mentioned, like we don't want to raise them in this culture vulture world where material things are kind of like owning their mind. For instance, people are starting to buy things just to post on Instagram, on social media, that they got it, but then they
Mhm.
don't use it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
these are resources that are, kids unfortunately don't have. And I think it's just a good way to not only push our movement, but help out the youth, like they're, the more social media gets stronger with, things with hype stuff, the less our kids are gonna know how to appreciate things and know how to not give back.
Yeah, I mean I mean it's great that you have that sense of community in Chicago, and you link with they said the N1. I didn't know there was an
I
N1.
know, it's crazy.
Yeah. So and then you guys were able to collaborate with them, and then how did you have like implement like staffing for the campsite?
Yeah, so again, the kids that I grew up playing basketball with, we still play basketball like in Sunday leagues and stuff. Just a little bit older, definitely
Yeah.
a little bit older, but
Yeah.
we're still hooping, and we just came up with this idea in a garage. We're just like, hey, let's start up our camp, man. This is something that we grew up on, so I think it's our turn to make our own, making our own
Man,
journey.
that's
Yeah.
you're doing a great thing, that your friends and family are part of it.
Hmm.
So it's like it's straight from the heart. And that's why it's like it's gratifying for you and for your friends and family that you're giving back to community, and it's wholeheartedly. It's like, hey, I want to give, all my knowledge and all my wisdom, like how to play the game of basketball, even though if they're not even like the best basketball or athlete, you're still showing them a great time, keeps them active, also keeps them focused. So I mean, those are like life things that you guys are teaching those kids.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool because hearing from the parents, like especially after a pandemic year,
Yeah.
hearing from the parents saying like, this is the one of the best things my kid has done. Like he's always talking about it every week. It's fun. It's fun for kids to touch the basketball for the first time and teach them just like little things. But we're gonna grow this for sure, and
Hmm.
we're actually going to Las Vegas to do a camp in a month. So my goal is to be in every like city doing one or 2 day camps throughout the 2022 year.
That's dope, man. So what was that first camp like, as far as like attendance, participation, reception? Like how did it all like work
Yeah,
out?
we had like 23 kids, and it was awesome. Like we looked forward to every week. The energy was just great. What was awesome was my coaches like, saying that how awesome this feels to be doing this, and they're they're not getting paid. We're not getting paid. This is all volunteer work, and
Hmm.
but we're giving back. We know that these sneakers, you know, then they're gently used or new sneakers that are we're donating probably cost over in total $20,000, which if you want to average everything out,
Wow.
that's how much we're shuffling like in our pet. It's just crazy because me and my guys were talking like how many shoes have I actually donated?
Hmm.
And I have a like an exact count, and it's 11,206 pairs. And like if you average that out to a gently used sneaker, that's a lot of money that we just recycled.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. So how long was the camp? Like how long was camp sold?
Camp Soul was 8 weeks long. That
Wow.
that was for summer. Every Sunday, 8 weeks long, and then we had a fun family day at the end where we packaged the sneakers that we were going to send. We even cleaned up and restored some sneakers to make sure that they look, give them that extra touch. But yeah, like now we have a Camp Soul this weekend in Chicago, and then Camp Soul in Vegas, and then we're working on a Bay Area, San Francisco one in April.
So not only it's Chicago, you got one you said in Vegas and also in
Correct.
NorCal.
Correct.
Wow, that's hey man, you got to bring one here in SoCal too, bro.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I
You
mean,
know,
you guys
I
are
got
creeping
some.
your way out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it's cool
Yeah,
because we get to meet new people. We get to introduce what we're about, not just basketball, but it's about giving back.
yeah.
Our camp is pretty much free. We just require you to donate some sneakers.
So that's just the price of admission. Just donate a pair of
Pretty much,
sneakers.
yes.
I would love to just donate. You know, yeah. I mean, of course, I would love to donate some stuff too. So we're definitely gonna do that for your for Bata. So
Thank you.
um, yeah, man. So just a little bit personal side on you. I know that you're into sneakers. Your said your dad or parents got you into sneakers. So what was your, if you can recall, what was your first pair of Jordans that they
It was
didn't
the
put you in?
Carmines, the Jordan 6 Carmines.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to rock those so hard, and they came out again, and
Yeah.
like someone gifted them to me. I'm like, oh, these are, it doesn't like people say like, what do you call that when it's like your best shoe?
Grail.
What was your Grail shoe? Like everyone
Yeah.
has like great like shoes that are worth like $3,000, 4,000, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2,000. Like mine are these, man. Like these have meaning to me. Like
Yeah.
these have super meaning to me.
Man, that's dope.
How
I
about you?
mean, my Grail, well, I would say Concord 11s.
Yeah,
It was the one from 2000, the first retro.
yeah,
I remember like I used to work at Popeyes, and I saved up my money. This is when Jordans were released on a weekday, right?
yeah.
It came out on the Wednesday. So I finished my exam, went straight to the mall. It was like the last size in my, last pair in my size. And then, it just having that pair, like your first retro, and then imagine that was like your first ever retro. You wear it with everything because that's like all what you had. And then, you had that crave or addiction. Hey, I need to get this color, that color. So it just had that snowball effect. You just started like buying sneakers, and this is the time where like sneakers was still accessible. There was no, it wasn't like super resale price. Like if you want to get something early, you might just pay like $100 more or $50 more.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, sneakers come and go. Like I said, I've sold sneakers, and just like your mindset, like I want to have the people that I sold sneakers. I want them to have memories with those sneakers too, like I did.
for sure.
So
And
it's like,
what's cool is like I'm in no way saying stop buying sneakers because I
yeah,
always love sneakers, but it's
yeah,
like, hey man, you buy a pair, give a pair. That's something that I want to implement in like anyone. Like I tell like even with my kids, like their feet are growing. I'm like, okay, so I gotta buy you new shoes. We're gonna donate these shoes.
yeah. I mean, it's great that seeing like your grails, like you got a pair of Carmines. um it's just gratifying that someone gifted it to you, and then like just giving back. And then you're also like within the sneaker community, so like Nike, Jordans, Reebok. So any pairs that you guys just accept, right? You don't, not just like,
Yeah, any athletic shoes, any new or gently used. So we partnered up with Rejuvenator.
oh
So
wow,
yeah, we partnered up with Rejuvenator since day one, and we use their product to clean these shoes, and it makes it everything new, man. It's awesome.
wow,
Yeah.
that is dope. So so you guys partner with Rejuvenator. So do they clean the sneakers? They lightly shoot lightly
So
sneakers, or
when we started in 2017, the we've partnered with them since day one, and they've been like our day one supporters.
wow.
So we get product from them, and we were able to use that product and clean all our sneakers. Like if I see a little smudge on a sneaker, I'm not
Hmm. Wow. Oh, can you hear me, Jeff?
yeah.
Okay, cool. So what else? So did you guys still have other partnerships with Rejuvenator? Like, was there like the shit like, did you guys partner up with like City of Chicago, like with that with Bata Soul and Bata Camp?
Yeah, so we've been partnering up with it's awesome what we're doing because we can partner up with anybody. What I want to do is build a community of like, hey, um, this is my organization. What's good is, communities, businesses, um, they're always down to help. They're always down to help. Um, we're blessed with a Nike grant over the summer
Wow.
to help us out with our camp and stuff like that. It's growing big, not big, but it's gonna grow big. And what's awesome is like with that growth, your heart gets bigger because you're like, now I could do more things. Now I can, help more kids with sneakers. And there's a lot of partnerships that we do have that at the top of my head I can't mention right now, but
Hey, it's cool.
yeah, but it's cool. Like the local community that we have and support, it's a blessing.
Man, that's awesome. So, have you guys had any like athletes yet that had dropped by the camp or like,
We actually
donated?
have an athlete gonna be one of our guest coach this Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, he's on the DePaul men's basketball team. So we're trying to implement like
Damn.
that kind of like, hey
Yeah.
man, we got this might be pro next year athlete coming to our camp. Check us out. We're not just all about like, again, I don't want it to be a Filipino camp. I want it to be for everybody,
Yeah.
all the kids.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, a little bit more side question for you.
Yeah.
With Bata Camp, you're also a big Chicago sports guy, right? So you're about the Bulls. Like, what was your favorite memory with the Bulls, and what do you think of your team so far this year?
Yeah. So what was awesome was growing up here in the 90s, man. It was an amazing feeling. Um, my favorite childhood memory was when it was with me and my nanai, my grandma.
Yeah.
Like I remember my parents, my brother, they went to a party. They went to a
What?
party for the Phoenix Suns 1993 championship, game 6, and it was
Yeah.
just me and my grandma stuck at home. And I was like, oh man, like I wanted to go to the party, like, but she was awesome, and she's like, let's make our own party. So like I remember her setting up the living room, like getting popcorn. We got our Bulls gear on, and we watched that Phoenix Suns game and together. And like I remember them actually winning, John Paxson hitting that shot,
Woo.
and me and my grandma, who was older, obviously, and we were just jumping around. I was jumping on the bed.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite memories for sure. Yeah, and then we went to the D Rose phase. D Rose phase was awesome. We had a good run there. But now it's just this team right here, like it brought us back to life. Everybody, just because we deserve it. We've been down for a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think our city definitely deserves an awesome team to represent them. And getting all these players, it's been great so far. I think we're 8-3 as of now, and
Tired with
we'll
you
see.
guys.
We'll see, man. Like we're about to go to the West Coast, and
There you
it's
go.
a big test. So yeah, but it's been fun. We haven't missed a game. I get to watch the games with my kids, and they love watching the games. It's nostalgic, man.
So you've been a loyal fan since like Marcus Pfizer days, the Tyson Chandlers,
I
the
wouldn't say
Eddie
there was a
Curry.
couple of years where I was like, Eddie Curry, Tyson Chandler. I don't know about this, but I do respect the guys like Kirk Heinrich, Taj Gibson, those guys who
Yeah.
were out there battling. Even
Yeah.
though they knew that we weren't there at the time, but like they were there and they put it on the floor like every day. So
Yeah. Man, yeah. I mean, like I said, you guys are great. I think the culture change. It used to be like, oh, we suck. Like we're just gonna just tank, and then now it's like, you guys are relevant. You guys got DeRozan to come in. Lonzo Ball. Alex Caruso. He didn't want the Lakers.
AC Fresh is the man, dude.
That's his name. Yeah. So he's not Caruso no more, right? He's like, I guess the second coming of I don't know. He's just great. Like this, he's fun to watch. It's all energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully, we might see you guys down the road. I'm looking forward to it. So just wrapping up, Jeff, and I appreciate your time. Where can they find Bata Soul on social media, and where can they make those sneaker donations for you?
Yeah, so all our social media is just Instagram and Facebook. It's at Bata Soul. And then we have a website, www.batasoul.com. And then any updates on there. But if you're looking to donate, just reach out to us and message us, and we could definitely set something up. If you're like across the way and not in Chicago, anything over $100 of shipping, we try to take care of.
Oh, cool.
Just to help you guys out, just because that's a lot of sneakers, man.
Yeah.
So besides that, we do a lot of local stuff here. But again, with our Camp Soul, again, this is gonna help us kind of spread the movement, in the United States.
That's dope. So do you guys also do like apparel too, like lightly used apparel, or just sneakers?
Just sneakers, yes.
Okay.
But we do have a merch store that
Yeah,
I
seen that.
I realized that like a lot of people liked wearing stuff
Yeah.
that represented our organization. So we put a store up, and it's cool, man. It's cool to walk around and sometimes even see random people wearing your stuff. It's, I'm not in it to sell t-shirts or anything, but it's still a cool feeling that, hey, I just had that idea of that t-shirt and
Yeah.
this guy's rocking it. It's cool.
Yeah. And it's dope. Like you have that imprint of the soul, right? As
Yeah.
your logo.
Yes,
It's real cool. It's simple, but it has a lot of meaning into it.
for sure.
Okay, Jeff. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope, nothing but the best with Bata Soul. Would love to, make it out there one day. And yeah, we'll definitely link up. I got some sneakers I would love to donate as well. I've got so many to like just yeah.
No
I mean,
worries, man.
they're just hanging around in the
Yeah,
in
for
the
sure. And what's
shed.
good is like this is not gonna stop. Like
Yeah,
this thing is gonna I picture this being like 20 years down the line being a well-oiled machine, and my kids are gonna be taking over this thing. So
there you go.
it's gonna be fun, and I'm just enjoying the process as it grows, man.
It's awesome. All right, Jeff. So thank you so much for your time. Yeah, this is the Dan and RG Machismo podcast. Have a good evening, guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks.